Moving on to the next one, I think this is probably the most highly anticipated game for, I would say, almost every football fan this week. I will start first just because I have a hot take with this one. I don't know how hot it's gonna be, but I think this is Tom Brady's last game in the NFL. I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. I think the defense are going to put a lot of pressure on them with Micah Parsons. You got Trayvon Diggs in the back, and I really think that his age is going to show this week. I don't think he's going to play terrible, but he's not going to be the same Brady that we're used to seeing. And I think he's going to eventually hang it up. I think Dak is just going to do what Dak has to do offensively to win the game. He's not going to do anything crazy, but I think the defense is going to get him in good field position, force some turnovers, and ultimately the Cowboys are going to come out with the win. And I think we're going to have another offseason where it's, oh, is he going to come back? He's going to play around with retirement. But I think he's going to hang it up for good at this point. Once he realizes, like, hey, I can't really compete anymore. Obviously, he's the GOAT in my eyes. But, I mean, obviously, all good things come to an end. So I do have the Cowboys winning this game. I think it's going to be another really close game. But I think the defense is what's gonna cause the Cowboys to win this game is turnovers, good field position, red zone stops, capitalizing on good field position and turnovers, stuff of that nature.
Yeah, I go next. I think I'm looking at the Cowboys' last few games, and I knew something was off. Like I recall them like not really being all that great to me over the last few games. So I mean, what few games back they played Houston, almost lost. Could have really lost that game. They won by 4 points, like in the end of the game. And the next week they beat the Eagles by 6. A very competitive game with Garner Minshew starting. Then they lose to the Commanders 26-6. Um, well, that was not in order, but I'm looking at the games the way they're set up is kind of out of order. But I think did the Cowboys just bench a lot of their players last week? I don't know if they
No,
I'm
played.
not sure.
no, a lot of their players now they didn't run the ball much, but a lot of their players
Yeah,
played late.
which is dumb. I think they need to run the ball this game, or attempt to. Zeke can't have what like 10. I think he had like 10 yards that game. That can't happen. Obviously, you lose that game to the Jags. That was crazy. Um, barely beat the Titans. I think I got Tampa. I got Tampa in this game. I think it's going to be a classic Brady game. Um, Obviously the Bucs have not looked anywhere near really good this year. Um, I don't feel like they deserve to be in the playoffs. Obviously they won their division. Kudos, but like I think the South, the AFC and the NFC South are like the worst divisions
Chill.
this year.
What is this
But
dude doing, bro? He's
What are you
wilding. You're
talking-
looking like a milk dud, bro. Chill
what are you
out.
Damn, that's what
Look
we
at there
my
doing.
licking
take, bro.
licking the drips and
Oh,
stuff.
because my lips were dry, and then I see you looking
Nah,
at me
bro.
all funny.
Hey, chat, go back 10 seconds and watch what he did.
Need some moisture. Um, but yeah, I got Tampa winning. I think it'll be a close game. I think this is going to be like game of the week. Like if you had to say this game was rigged, I think it'd be rigged for Tampa. It would look good for Tampa to win this game in like a 3 point fashion. Brady, last minute drive end of the game. And I can see it going that way. I don't know. I also think Brady's going to play another year. I've heard that he could possibly be going to Vegas.
Yeah,
I feel like that's attractive. You still got Devontae. You have weapons there for him. You just got to get him some good coaching and a good O line. But I don't see this being his last game, especially if they get a dub and go on and do whatever they do next week. But yeah, I got Tampa. I got Tampa by like 3.
Yeah, I don't think Steven, I don't think it was like a completely hot take. I mean, I think Brady will be back next year too. Sterling talked about the Vegas rumors. I also think that I think he'll be on the 49ers next year, to be honest. I think he'll take a discount to go back home, end his career there. I mean, I think I think the Buccaneers will win this game too, just because every time I bet against Tom Brady, I lose. So um, really, I mean, in Dak, the past 7 straight games has thrown an interception. He's played 12 games, and he's leading the league in interceptions. So,
Crazy.
very mistake prone. I think Tom Brady usually capitalizes on those things. They have no run game, so really the X factor for me in this game is going to be, Demarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. See if they can get to Tom Brady, because if they do that, then it's over, because the Buccaneers are just anemic when they run the ball. So,
yeah. So I'm going to probably take a piece of everybody's points to really kind of come up with mine because I think all of you said a little piece of what really kind of influenced my decision. But the first piece is I'm going to pick the Cowboys. And a big part of the reason I'm picking the Cowboys is how bad they looked last week. So Sterling talked about how bad they looked running the ball last week, right? Now, Dak threw the ball 37 times. That cannot be the Cowboys' game plan. Like we talked about with San Francisco, Cowboys have a very good defense. They have to, like we talked about with Brock Purdy, they have to limit Dak Prescott so he doesn't make mistakes and really lean on that defense and lean on that run game. And when they do that, they play much better. So when it is Tony Pollard, when it is Zeke, and then you're passing the ball maybe 20, 25 times, they have a much better chance of winning when Dak is not putting that ball in situations where it could be a turnover. The other part, and I think it was mentioned a number of times quite eloquently, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a problem running the ball. Leonard Fournette is not getting at it this year, and Tom Brady is throwing the ball more and more. We're talking 40, 50 attempts per game. I don't know if it's per game, but there are games where he's had 40 and 50 attempts. If you do that against the Cowboys with their ability to get pressure, just like Alex said, with Micah Parsons, with DeMarcus Lawrence, with their ability to get pressure and their ability to get turnovers, that is going to be a recipe for disaster. I think there has been points in time, and it's the Stevens point, where Tom Brady has looked his age. And I think this is one of those games where if the Cowboys can get pressure on him, which I think they're going to be able to, especially when I don't have to be concerned about the running game. When I can have my rushers, both from the linebacker and defensive end spots, pin their ears back, not having to worry about the run game and really come after Tom Brady hard. And then you make Tom Brady, and again, they have weapons, but they're very one-dimensional. We know what Mike Evans can do. We know what Chris Godwin can do, but they are very one-dimensional. So a Cowboys defense that can play very well, and when I can get pressure, because you cannot run the ball, and I don't have to worry about the run, I think the Cowboys are going to have a bunch of turnovers. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 3 or 4 turnovers in some form or fashion on that team. Now, obviously, the X factor here to me is Tom Brady and his experience in these sort of situations, right? We don't call the guy the GOAT for no reason. He's been in these positions. He is the king of playoff football. 10 Super Bowls, right? None of that is by accident. These moments are not too big for Tom Brady, and he seems to be able to lead his team even when sometimes the talent is tilted the other way. So that's the X factor is, can Tom Brady have another Tom Brady moment? Can he have another Tom Brady run? I think just at 45, I don't think this is a point in time in Tom Brady's career where I could put all the weight on his shoulders offensively and say, hey, you have to lead us to the Super Bowl. I don't think the Bucs have the defense that those old Patriots teams had. I don't think they had the running game that those old Patriots teams had. So with that, I think, like Steven said, we're going to see the age of Tom Brady in this game. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either if he doesn't say, hey, I can't compete at that level anymore. I'm seeing that just based off of this entire season, and it may be time to hang it up. Now, again, yep, I've heard all the rumors as well, but I think Tom Brady is one of those people that really kind of measures himself based on his ability to win championships. And I think this year, this playoff game is going to be kind of that look into, hey, maybe that window's closed for him in terms of his ability to win championships. So I wouldn't be surprised if he hung it up at the end of this game either.
I have a hot take for this game, though. On a side note, I think that, and I want to know what you guys think of this, but if Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys lose this game, I think Jerry Jones will fire him and go after Sean Payton.
I would say this. I think it'll go the other way. I think Jerry Jones will not fire Mike McCarthy. unless he knows he can get Sean Payton. Right. So I think he talks to Sean Payton first. If he says, listen, Sean, are you willing to come if I fire Mike McCarthy? And Sean says yes, then I think he would fire Mike McCarthy. However, I don't think he's going to fire him for another coach that may be in the pool. I think Mike McCarthy will stay if he can't get Sean Payton. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mike McCarthy got fired for Sean Payton. I'd be surprised if Mike McCarthy got fired and Sean Payton was already someplace else.
I hear you. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, but like, what's better? How do you go up from here? Regardless of like you not getting the results, I don't see another coach better than Mike McCarthy aside from Sean Payton. The grass isn't always greener when you go from a good head coach. He's a Super Bowl winning coach, you know. But I think I also think it's hard for them to keep him when you got 2 first-round exits back-to-back years when your team was good. Like last year, the Cowboys defense was good. I mean, this year they've tanked a little bit, but like again, they find themselves in the playoffs. Regardless of all that, and a first-round knockout is not what they have Mike McCarthy here for. Like they Cowboys have been. I mean, the Super Bowl has obviously eluded them, or more than one win in the playoffs series has eluded them for a long time. It's not new to them, but like, dang, I think it would be hard to see him really not try and pursue that if they end up losing the game, back-to-back years of the first-round knockouts.